All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while I learn this truth 100% according to the Bible. Also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere in your children, shalom. And in today's video is just going to be another video on touching on being circumspect and being wise. You see, knowing that the times that we're in are dangerous, right? So it's going to be building off of this video where you had a situation, as you can see, that just occurred where you had 11 people that were stabbed in a Walmart, man. You see, so these are the times and seasons that we're living in where you can't even go to a store, you know, because you never know what's bound to happen. You see, so you just want to be, you know, moving in the spirit more now than ever in these times, brothers and sisters, because, yeah, it's getting crazy out here, man. And we already knew that it was crazy, but it's getting worse, man, you see, and it's only going to get worse over time, right? So I'm going to actually get a precept real quick before I get into the video. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm going to just read verse 1. It said, "This know also that in the last days, which what we're in, right, perilous times shall come." And I'm going to look at that word perilous, right, just for edification's sake, because these are the times that we're living in, right? And the definition of that word perilous on the AI overview goes into a time full of danger or risk, right? And I'm going to go into some similar words to the meaning of that, right? And it goes into dangerous, right, hazardous or risky or unsafe, right? So that's why you want to constantly be in the spirit of watching and paying attention and being observant, because knowing that we're living in some very unsafe and risky times, man. You see, you want to be in the spirit, man. You see, you want to be walking around being observant. You know, it tells you this as well. This is Proverbs 22:3. It said, "A prudent man, right, foreseeth the evil, right, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." And you don't want to be that simple, man, that are walking around just out here, you know, thinking everything is normal when it's not, man, because there are things that are happening in this earth. We know that we're living in the time of judgment, and we know that there's going to be various things like this occurring in these times, man, because we're at the end of this place. So you're going to have demonic activity ramping up, and the Lord is going to be having these spirits created for vengeance, you know, that are out here getting active in these times, man. So you just want to be circumspect and ultimately be in the spirit and be watching as well as praying that you don't get caught up in things like this, you see, or how you can avoid situations like this. And you avoid situations like this by moving in the spirit, because the Lord will warn you of certain things before things happen. You know, if you walk into a store and you see that, hey, it's a possibility that something can take place in there, because you can, you know, judge the spirit of the room, then, hey, you're going to get up out of there, man. You're not going to be in that place. You see, so this is a time like never before to be allowing the spirit to guide you, man, and having your spiritual antennas up, because, hey, it's crazy out here in this place, man. You see, and these people out here, they're just getting worse and worse as time moves on, man. All right. So I'm actually get into the video, right? And we're just going to listen to it. But before I start this video, I'm going to say fair use. Fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes. Only fair use.
News alert.
10 breaking news out of Traverse City. A stabbing spree at a Walmart, leaving 11 people injured. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Rudolph Sinaida. If you're familiar with Traverse City, this is the Walmart right off US 31. All of this unfolding around 5 p.m. today. We did get an update from the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office tonight. Here is what we know right now. As I mentioned, 11 people currently being treated. 6 of the victims are men, 5 women. At least 3 had to have surgery tonight. Police have identified the suspect as a 42-year-old man. We're also learning he used a folding knife in this attack. A motive still unclear. Now, as you can imagine, frightening moments for both shoppers and workers.
And they said the motive is unclear, but we ultimately know why these things are occurring in these times, and we see why they're happening, because we're living in prophetic times, and a lot of these people, they don't understand that. That's why I read that Proverbs 22:3 about the simple passing on and being punished, man, because these people don't know how to discern the times and to know what season that we're living in, man. You see, and we know what the scriptures have said, right? This is Matthew 24:12. "And because iniquity shall abound," right? Talking about sin upon sin, "the love of many shall wax cold." And when you go into that word cold in the Greek, it goes into psychos or crazy, you know. So you got a lot of people that are walking through this place, America, that are bugged out their mind, man. You see, people filled with all type of spirits and demons on them, and they're just, doing all type of madness, man. So that's why us hopeful elect brothers and sisters, we got to be in the spirit, and we got to be more cautious, man. You see, as it tells you in the scriptures, I'm gonna get that wisdom of Solomon, right? Chapter 6, right? And I'm gonna go to the precept, right? I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, to think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. Right? You got to be wise. You got to be prudent. You see, you got to be in a sober state of mind, always watching, paying attention, not being foolish. You see, like the people that are in this world, because these people don't have no idea what's going on in the spirit, what times and seasons we're living in. They don't know that the Lord is getting ready to bring evil. So, hey, they're going to get caught off guard by these things. Or when certain situations like this present itself, people always become casualties, man, because they're not moving in the spirit. They're not moving wisely. Right. This is verse 16. It said, for she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought, man. That's talking about wisdom. And that's what you want to be aligned to guide you in these times, man, knowing that we're living in some very deadly, serious times, knowing that people out here, they're bugged out. They don't got it. Knowing that these people are just, through out here, man. You see all type of spirits running through these people, and they're just, looking for a way to, ultimately to inflict pain or danger upon someone. You see, that's why it tells us this right here. I'm going to grab this precept. This is Colossians chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 5. It said, walk in wisdom, right, towards them that are without, right, redeeming the time. You see, and that's what we got to be in the spirit of doing, brothers and sisters. We got to know that these people in this world, that they don't have wisdom, that they're not walking in the spirit. They're not walking after the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So these people are, carnal. They're very wicked. So, these people are bound to do any given thing at any point of time. So us knowing that, hey, we got to move with wisdom when we're operating amongst these people, man. You see, in the next scripture, it says, right, this is verse 6. It said, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how ye ought to answer every man, you see. And that's why we got to remain humble, you see, because like I said before, you never know what a person is going through, what they may have on their mind, what type of spirits are riding the person. And if you say something wrong to them, without allowing that wisdom to meet you at your thoughts in your mind, guess what? You can find yourself in a situation that you ultimately don't want to be in. So it's just very important for us to be using wisdom in this time and season, man. Seeing that, how things are ultimately, going in this earth, man, especially in this place, America, that this place is, wicked, man. And these people out here, they're not right. They're not moving in the right spirit. You see, so I'm gonna get this precept as well. This is Ephesians chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at verse 15, KJV. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, right? Circumspectly. You got to be paying attention to everything that is going on around you. That doesn't matter if you go to Walmart, you got to be circumspect. You can go to your job, you got to be circumspect. It doesn't matter where you're going. You could be in the park, jogging or reading a book or whatever you may like to do. You just got to be circumspect because, knowing that we're living in some deadly serious times, you can't be out here being careless, man. Because like I said, anything can happen at any given moment, so you just want to be in the spirit, man. Right. So I'm going to finish reading. It said, not as fools. Right. You can't be like the people that are in the world. These people are foolish. They don't understand the times and seasons that we're living in. They don't understand that the love of many is waxing cold and people have spirits on them, and that these people are running rampant and just doing all type of manners of wickedness. They don't understand these things. But us being spiritual, we know these things. So we got to move in the right spirit, man, by applying that wisdom. Right. It says, I'm going to read it again from the top, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, right? And this is the reason why. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil, man, right? We're living in some very deadly, serious times. Like I said, you can't even go to Walmart to get whatever you may want to get out of there because, like I said, you got bug outs just running in places and doing all type of manners of evil. And like I said, we know that the Lord is the one that's controlling all of these things, of course, right? The Lord is the one that's bringing this chaos upon the earth. We know that the Lord is the one that's orchestrating these events and all of these different things that ultimately occur. It tells you that in Amos 3 and 6, shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? Evil meaning bad times, right? So the Lord is the one that's bringing this evil. So us knowing that, we got to be getting closer and closer to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We got to be doing things in our power to ultimately be closer to our Lord, man, so that he can protect us, right, in these evil times that we're in, because it's going to get worse, man. Right? This is verse 17. It said, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And what's the will of the Lord? To bring forth judgment, to bring forth evil. You know, the Lord said in Matthew 10 and 34, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So the Lord is the one bringing all of the chaos, all of the confusion, all of the, strife and the envy and the terror and the chaos and these people being bugged out their minds. You know, the Lord is controlling all these things. So you want to be getting right with the Lord in these times, like I said, you know. So, yeah, I'm going to get back into this video, right?
Inside that Walmart, I spoke to one employee over the phone tonight who told me she and others were running for their lives.
I heard just people crying and calling their family like their loved ones.
20-year-old Walmart employee Anna Luke says it was chaos all around Saturday evening. She was inside the Traverse City location when a 42-year-old male suspect began stabbing people inside the store.
So I was just at register, and all I hear is run. Someone's got a knife as I'm cashing out someone at the register.
Police arrived in minutes to a horrifying scene. A Good Samaritan is believed to have helped with the apprehension of the suspect. That suspect confirmed to be a Michigan resident.
Coming from Walmart, got stabbed in her right lower back area, and she's also pushed forward and hit her head. She's awake and talking to us.
The Grand Traverse County Sheriff Michael Shea said in a press conference that this did appear to be a random attack and would not comment on the mental condition of the suspect, who is in custody.
Based on the information that we have at this time, it appears there were random acts, that there was no, the victims were not predetermined. And again, that's based.
Right. And you hear what it is he's saying. That's because, like I said, we're living in a very spiritual time, man. And the Lord is allowing these people to get active because we're in that time and season, man. Right. So I'm actually getting that. This is what the Lord is allowing to get active in these times, man. This is Sirach chapter 39, verse 28. And it said, there be spirits, right, that are created for vengeance, right, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him. Talking about the Heavenly Father, right? The one that's controlling the evil that made them, right? And I'm going to go down, verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, you see, right? Verse 30. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, right? And that sword goes into any, deleting instrument. That can be a gun, that could be a knife, whatever the case may be, you see? Punishing the wicked to destruction. So like I said before, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is the one that's controlling all of these evils in these people, man. You see, it tells you that in Psalm 78 and 49, he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation by sending evil angels among them, man. And those evil angels are coming in the form of these people, man, that are doing all of this chaotic stuff in these times that we're living in. So like I said, us brothers and sisters, knowing these things, you see, we got to be moving right in the spirit, man. And we got to be getting closer to the Lord in these times and ultimately staying in the spirit. Because like I said, it's wild out here, man. And you don't want to be walking around, not being circumspect or, paying attention to your surroundings or, just not being, cautious, man. You see, you got to be in that spirit. I'm not talking about being paranoid, of course, but you still want to be observant of everything around you and every place where you go. You just want to be moving cautiously, man, in these times, you see. And this is the reason why. This is St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16, right? And this is Lord Yahushua speaking, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. It said, behold, I send you forth as sheep, right? And we're those sheep, us believers, us hopeful elect brothers and sisters, right? That are departed from the ways of this world, right? We're sheep, which are docile, harmless animals, right? In the midst of wolves. And who are those wolves? The 2/3 of our people and these other heathen nations that are in this place, America. Like I said, these people are not walking after the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You see, mainly our people. So ultimately, they're in a wolf spirit. These people have demons on them. They're in a, wicked state of mind, to where they're prone to do any type of act of wickedness, you see. And we know that we are amongst these peoples, right? So as it says, be ye therefore wise as serpents, right? And harmless as doves. So like I said, man, we just got to be in the spirit of being wise, being circumspect, paying attention to our surroundings more, and ultimately, just moving in the spirit, man, allowing the Lord's spirit to guide you, man. If you get a feeling of something and it don't feel right to you, if you go in a place and things in that environment feels off, then hey, you want to get away from it, man. You see, this is not a time to be moving carelessly or moving, down the spirit, man. You see, because the Lord ultimately gives us warnings before things can ultimately take place. You see? And I know you brothers and sisters out there have had plenty situations like that occur to where you could have possibly been in a situation, but the spirit jumped on you and made you leave. And then you hear word later on that something bad ultimately occurred at that same place that you just left from. You see, so this is the time, like I said, where we really want to allow the Lord to be guiding us, man, because the days are evil, man. You see, and people out here, they're just bugged out their mind, man. You see, and there's a lot of wickedness that's going on out here in these streets of Babylon, man. So you want to be moving in that spirit of being wise, right? And I'm actually go to another precept real quick. Bear with me. Right? So grab this precept, just another precept on being wise, This is right, bear with me. All right. Right, let me see. All right. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. All right, I'm trying to look for this precept. Right. Right. This is Proverbs 28 and 26. It said, he that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, right? You trusteth in your own mind. And like I said before, this is a time and season that we're living in where you want Yahweh Shem Yahushua to be guiding all your steps, right? You want to be moving in that spirit of wisdom, like I said. So this is the time to really be trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushua with all your heart, meaning your mind, and not leaning into your own understanding. You see, because as it tells you in the scriptures, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man or a woman, but the end thereof are the ways of death, you see. So we want to be walking in the spirit and allowing the Lord to guide us in our day-to-day lives, right? And I'm talking about with the smallest things, you just going out to the store, you want to pray to the Lord and ask him, is this something I should be doing? You see, you might go out late night, to a bar, whatever the case may be, don't know what brothers and sisters may indulge in or do, but still, you just want to allow wisdom to meet you at every thought, like I said earlier in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, you see. So I'm going to finish read. It said, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered, right? Like I said, you'll be delivered from troubles. You'll be delivered from situations that the Lord ultimately can protect you from, all by moving in the spirit of wisdom, man. You see? So like I said before, you just want to be circumspect. So with that being said, Lord's willing, I pray this video was edifying. It was just something quick that was on my spirit. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.